So update 5.1 has officially dropped just the other day, and as always I'm going to be giving you guys my initial review on the update as well as quickly touching on the Archangel event trailer that we got last night as well. And so without wasting any time, let's jump right into it. Now overall this was actually a very small update. I would have to say this is probably the smallest update we've gotten since pretty much since season 1 has started actually. Most of the updates we've gotten since then have been relatively decent size. There hasn't been any that are really small other than obviously the sort of smaller bug fix updates, but in terms of the main like proper updates, for example 5.1 rather than like 5.0.1, this is definitely the smallest we've gotten in a very long time. There's only really a few things to go over. One of the main things they added were some of the attachments to the vault weapons. They obviously did that in 5.0 as well, but this time we got some of the marksman rifles in the M39 EMR and the SVD. They got their attachments added, and then really the only other major change they made was to the squad spawn improvements. There's now actually a low vehicle health prompt when you're trying to spawn on a vehicle. So if a vehicle has like 10 health left and you're trying to spawn on it, it will let you know so that you're kind of aware it could at any time blow up and you could just get a death straight away. So that's a pretty good change, but yeah, those are really the only like proper changes they put in here. In terms of like bigger stuff they've announced, there were a lot of smaller bug fixes and stuff too, which I'll quickly touch on a few of those. But in terms of the sort of main things they mentioned at the top of the patch notes, that is actually pretty much it for this update. In terms of some of the smaller stuff, they mentioned they've added some environmental cover on Reclaim to sort of stop people sitting up on the hill at D1 there, up on sort of the top of the bunker section and looking into the spawns. That is something I mentioned in my review for the map, was that the spawn trap potential on this map is absolutely terrible, and so it is really good that they've actually fixed that up by adding a little bit more cover. I haven't actually noticed it when I've been playing on Reclaimed, but I also haven't noticed myself getting spawn trapped as often, so it definitely seems like it's worked, which is definitely a very needed thing on that map. They also then made some pretty drastic changes through Hazard Zone. I've included this in the smaller changes just simply because Hazard Zone is a small sort of section of the game that no one really plays, to be honest, but it is actually a really drastic change. They've pretty much removed the entire like core of the mode in terms of the way that the currency worked in that, and they've just replaced it with regular XP payouts for extracting successfully. They've also then changed it so that you can pretty much just bring whatever loadout you want with you. So that mode is pretty drastically different than what it was when they launched it now. Kind of a weird change to me because they sort of mentioned they're not really going to be focusing on Hazard Zone anymore, so it's weird that they even bothered to change it, but either way that is something they have done in update 5.1 as well. Now in terms of something negative that came along with update 5.1, there is actually a current issue with the ADS sensitivity that you guys may have noticed, or you may have not even noticed, but you definitely would have felt it when you're playing and felt that your aim was a little bit off. There's actually an issue with the ADS sensitivity where I believe it is just the same sensitivity as when you're not aimed down sights, or something similar to that anyway, pretty much meaning that when you aim down sights your accuracy is going to be a lot less than before this, because obviously when you aim down sights you're meant to be aiming a little bit slower. It helps you kind of stay on target a little bit easier, especially on controller. It is very noticeable, and with this update there's something has gone wrong there to where that is now a little bit sped up, so you guys might find yourself like struggling to stay on target. I've definitely noticed that myself. They have mentioned they're working on a fix for this, so I'd imagine we'll get that in update 5.1.1, but I thought I would bring that up to you guys because I didn't actually notice it until I saw people talking about it. I felt like my aim was off, but I actually thought it was just on my end more than anything. So if you feel like you can't hit shots, that is definitely what is going on with your game. Now that's pretty much it for the update. We did also, like I said, get the Archangel event trailer. It looked like a very good trailer, a typical DICE trailer that are all really good no matter how good the actual content is. Pretty much all of their trailers are absolute bangers. What I will say though is that the mode does actually look really fun. It kind of looks as though it's like Conquest with moving points, or almost something like King of the Hill with multiple points, where everyone kind of has to capture each point, but then eventually they do move around and change location, similar to a King of the Hill, but instead of there being one, it is actually multiple points. And I believe it starts with 3, then it goes to 2, and then it goes to 1 single point. So it actually looks really fun. The event is taking place from July 11th through to July 25th, so it's a 2-week event starting early next week, and I'm definitely pretty keen to jump in there and try it. I've actually just moved into a new place, so I would actually love to get everything set up to be able to stream it, but I can't really promise that, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel. There is a chance I'll potentially try and stream some 2042 next week, but yeah, the mode does look pretty fun. I'm keen to hear if you guys think it looks good as well, so be sure to let me know down below. Obviously a lot of these mid-season events have been very mid-tier for me personally. I think most people would agree with that. The season 4 mid-season season event was actually pretty fun, but season 1 through 3, they were absolutely terrible if you ask me. They were just not really that different from the regular modes in the game, so it kind of just felt like it was playing a slight twist of Conquest, for example. But the last one definitely showed that they can actually make some good limited time modes, so hopefully it is the same with this one. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. Like I said, very small update, and even in terms of the event, we don't know too much just yet until it actually launches next week. Let me know your thoughts on update 5.1, but with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.